Okay, guys, I made this short video just because of Carrie Scruggs, who's Councilwoman of Ranch Pass, Texas, who's spreading lies, hate, and discontent again. She's out there saying that I'm harassing them and that I'm lying about Chief Blanchard's suit that he bought and that he was allowed to buy that suit according to policy. Well, watch all this and you'll know that, as always, I'm transparent, and she's a lying piece of shit like the rest of them.
Some follow here. Carrie Scruggs is on Facebook, texting people, calling people, telling people that I am harassing the city, I am harassing Chief Blanchard, and all I do is lie. And that Chief Blanchard's suit was in the manual and he was allowed to purchase it according to their charter. Well, that's complete BS. They keep lying to you and she don't show you any evidence, so I gladly will. Here we go. Chief Blanchard's expense, 9/10/23, Men's Warehouse, personally fitted suit for $1,247, guys. What does that mean? Well, personally, you cannot buy anything personal, meaning that the law explicitly states you cannot buy personal items with government funds. Personally fitted suit hits that target. I don't know why the numbers here are penciled in, but they are. You can see this is Eric Blanchard on 10/6, all right, and this is Sandra Garcia approving it on 10/13, and Sandra is not his boss. This should be Gary Edwards on there, so they're not following their policy to begin with. Eric does not work for the financial department. Anyway, she approved this illegal document. Good for you, Sandra. This is the receipt, $1,247. Not going to beat you up on it. Everybody in town knows that Chief Blanchard bought a suit with our money. Now, this is the City of Ranch Pass authorization form for Chief Blanchard to pay back the suit only because I brought it up. And as you can see, the date is 10/20 when he first started paying this, and he signed for this on 10/11. So they did not start this until 10/11, guys, and I had already talked about this and already brought it up way before then, and Carrie's trying to act like I did not, because what? She's a liar. Now, here's the second payroll deduction for $447, and I'll tell you why they can't legally make him pay this back and that they're breaking the law again, but I'll show you that in a minute. What I want to specify here is this. This is the acknowledgement form. So Carrie's out there saying that Gary Edwards had no clue about this policy, didn't know anything about it. Well, he signed this 9/28/17. He knew. Here's Chief Blanchard's from the city. He signed it too back in 2019. They know. Now, all right, this is a text message between Carrie Scruggs and a citizen in town. I'm not going to disclose her name. She was asking questions as she is allotted to. She's asking basically, why isn't Chief Blanchard being charged for theft for stealing a suit? Carrie's response is, thank you for asking. The old policy manual that is being reviewed now, per Gary Edwards' request, has a uniform allowance. The specifics are vague as written, so they're going to redo it, right? I've stated this before on Facebook posts. When the financial director received the CC statement, she took it to the Gary Edwards city manager. He was unaware of the policy uniform. BS, as I've already showed you. He's aware of all policies. He's full of crap. It's unusual for this expense according to history. Unusual, yeah, because it's theft. Even the old mayor, Tommy Knight, got on there and said he's never heard of that, and the entire time he was the mayor of Aransas Pass. Texas law will tell you anything that you buy personally is illegal and against the law. With Chief, he then became aware of the current policy, BS guys, which, as I stated before, is being revised. Why are they revising this policy? Well, I'll show you. But Edwards told Chief that because of the current harassment from me, Mr. Followell, he thought it best to pay this back. Well, if it's not against the law and it's within policy, they can't force him to pay it back anyway. So that should throw up a red flag for everybody in this town. Chief pointed out again it was not against policy, but agreed to not have the controversy, and he would reimburse the suit 100%. All of this was done 30 days before Followell accusations. Well, guys, I showed you earlier, I started doing that before that, right? They didn't start anything like on this until 10/11/2023. This was done before Followell's inaccuracy began, the crusade against the purchase. It's not a crusade, buddy, it's theft, and this is a Class A misdemeanor, and Chief Blanchard needs to go to prison. Okay, guys, so as you can see here, I started asking questions back in October 13th, right? I wanted to know about the trip, wanted to know what was going on, started posting stuff on Facebook in November because it takes a long time to get data back from these guys, but I want you to pay attention back over here. Check this out. This expense wasn't even approved until 10/13. So it wasn't approved at all until 10/13. And as you can see down there, what I showed you earlier, He started paying it back on 10/11. It wasn't even approved yet. Go figure, right? Okay, chase and tail, chase and tail. All right, here's the uniform policy that everybody keeps talking about. Well, Carrie keeps lying about, rather. Check this out. Let's do this. We'll put in reimburse. Let's hit enter. Oh, nothing in there about reimbursement. Not a single word about reimbursing uniforms at all. Crazy, right? It does talk about Chief Blanchard's uniform, and the highest uniform you can have is a Class A. Class A is a dress hat, which he didn't have. He had long sleeve, he had tie back, he had a skirt, right, or trousers, I'm sorry. Black belt, dark blue, he had. Now, black polished dress shoes, negative. He had brown shoes. Boots with pointed toes are not permitted. Well, his were pointed, and he didn't have white gloves. This does not hit the criteria of a uniform. A business personally fitted suit is nowhere in the APD manual. They're lying to you. City of Aransas Pass policy manual. Let's click reimburse. Here we go. What does it talk about? Reimbursement for tuition. Now, there's another one. Reimbursement for tuition, and then that's the end of your document. Now, the police policy manual 1024-2 I want to talk about, so I want to show it to you. What's it say here? The Aransas Pass Police Department will provide uniforms for all employees. There again is nothing in here about reimbursement. Ready? The requester will be required to reimburse the Department of Members' Compensation business and the costs associated with the outside services. Uh-oh, fucked up. All right, so we click reimbursement on the policy manual, right? We get this: any private entity or organization, individual seeking special services is a reimbursement. Oh, that's it. Nothing about uniform reimbursements in the Aransas Pass Police Department manual. They're lying. Now, this is the Aransas Pass purchasing guidelines. Let's hit reimbursement. Not a single thing in there. Nothing. You know what it does say, though? Personal purchases. City employees are strictly prohibited from using their position or their name to purchase items or services for personal use. A personally fitted suit is illegal. Texas Administrative Code 557. Refunds. A state agency may not accept cash refunds for a purchase if the agency paid for the purchase with a payment card. Chief Blanchard illegally used our Amex card to make a purchase. Gary and the financial director cannot make him pay that back with cash money. With that said, they do have to follow the law. What is the law? Penal Code 3902, abuse of official capacity. A public servant commits an offense if, with intent to obtain benefit, he wanted a personally fitted suit. Crazy, right? Anyway, Chief Blanchard obtained a new $1,247 personally is the key word fitted suit with the taxpayers' money. This is a Class A misdemeanor. They are trying to cover it up. He needs to go to jail. Thank you. Have a good night.